Hi F2Pers, it's Goodfellow here from F2P.com, and today we are checking out the alpha access of Closers. It is a free-to-play beat 'em up from En Masse Entertainment, and we are currently checking out one of the early alpha weekends. This is the first look. We've played it slightly, maybe for like just over an hour. Get an idea of the controls, what it is that we're going to be doing. And so we thought we'd give you a first look, just so you can see what it is all about. So it is, as I said, a free-to-play beat 'em up. It uses the keyboard, doesn't use the mouse at all. I mean, obviously you can use the mouse and you can change your camera angles, but it all snaps back. It's a, I suppose it's 3D in a way, because there is this kind of, full movement left and right. I hate that when she's running. She runs like that even though I'm moving down. That's her run animation. She can run that way, she can run that way. She can't run diagonally. So that's annoying, but other than that, indeed. So as you can tell, it's obviously an Asian import. There's been thrown through the English translator, and in fairness, they've done a pretty good job. There's lots of text. The quest text is pretty extensive. I find myself hitting Z and skipping through a lot of it, or just hitting X to just get through everything. So anyway, what are we at now? We are at level 14, so the leveling up process is pretty quick. We've got a bunch of skills on the bottom. I think we've pretty much had all of them. I don't think we've learned any new skills yet, so even from the beginning you start out with quite a lot of skills. And using your skills uses up your MP, and HP is obviously your damage. So it's not really an MMORPG because it's all quite restricted. You advance through different zones, and we've come to this area. We'll pick up quests. This is like the quest hub, and then we end up going into different stages. So right now we've got a new stage that we've not done yet. This is Times Square Atrium. So far we've worked ourselves through Gangnam Station, York Samward, and Times Square Mall. So we're now in Times Square Atrium, and this is literally to complete a couple of quests and go through. There's a lot of replayability, and it's kind of forced replayability because you can do recon, then you do it on a patrol, and then you can do it on a skirmish. We can't do skirmishes yet, you have to be level 18, but you get better rewards and the enemies are more challenging. So we're going to jump into recon, try and explain stuff as we're doing it. So as I said, it's movement with up, down, left, right, arrow keys, and it's just a lot of button smashing. So we've got Z, which is our standard attack. We've got X, which is jump, and then we can use the arrow keys to move up and down as we could in the social hub. So like I said, there's an element of 3D playability. It kind of really reminds me of the old like Sega Mega Drive games like Streets of Rage or Golden Axe. You know, you could move up and down, you had this left and right, but it's not really a full 3D. And because you still, when I attack, I'm only attacking forwards, so you know I can't aim at the. So if I'm over here and I shoot off my abilities, it's going straight in front of me. So you've got to still be lined up, even though the camera does change camera angles. You're still only ever attacking forwards, so don't let that confuse you. But you can turn, you can face both ways. So you can attack this way, you can attack that way, and it does depend. You know, if I fire off my attacks and I'm facing the wrong way, it will just miss everything. So it is stage based. We get locked into different locations. So, you know, we can't go all the way back now. We are in this area, this environment. So we'll just take this guy on his own at the moment. We can use our spacebar as a quick dash. Oh, there's a lot of dudes over there, so we'll not try and take on too much stuff. Various abilities, they do keep recharging over time. Our health, I don't... keep pushing the wrong button. Oh, they were hitting me. See, that's the thing about this kind of faux 3D, that it looks like once I start moving over there, the camera angle is going to shift, so it goes at a bit of a diagonal. as we'll see here now. So it goes like on this weird diagonal level here, so trying to attack stuff can be a bit awkward. So we want to gather these guys around because they are ranged based. They're pretty lame up close in melee, so we can take them out no problem. And when you're fighting just one of them, it's easy enough just to spam your basic attack. Now there are different classes, and they have different abilities. There is the ability to team up with a squad. So fight with other players, which is pretty cool. I think that'll make things a lot more interesting. But right now we're just going through the kind of easy single player content. There's lots of combo building, there's different abilities that work together with each other. These things here, when you see these and you hit them, they give you health and mana points. Okay, so let's try and gather these guys up. Oh, he's going to be in melee. Just throwing all my abilities next to each other. Yeehoo! So it's very explosive combat, very dynamic. That aspect of it I do like. It really does capture that beat 'em up style gameplay. It really hurts your fingers after a while though, because you're mashing that many buttons. If you're not used to using a keyboard, as I imagine the majority of us aren't these days, I mean, not mashing buttons in this way. Yeah, after a while it does start to ache your fingers a little bit. Oh. So those are mines that are going to blow up. Set off those barrels. So doing a little bit of environmental damage as well. Oh, missed. Oh, missed. Don't want to miss. Don't want to miss. There we go. Got them both. You do have skill points. So as you level up, you can put your points into upgrading your various skills. That ability there groups everything together. So that's how I kind of group everything. And then I've got one that does kind of rejects everything and throws everything away from me. So who's this dude? I think I fought one of these. Yeah, Void Archon. So I fought one of these a few times. I actually feel like I have. I think. So this is the this is confusing me a little bit. So we're basically back in the. It's a similar kind of area that we've played on the previous stage. So you can dodge stuff as you see then, so because everything else only fires forward, if it fires at me here, I can dodge around and try to dodge their attacks. Get him pinned here, let's drop a bus on him. Whoop! Like you do. Move away when he tries to do some crazy stuff. Ah! And if you don't, and in fairness, that is one thing I do like about the game, that, I mean, there's a lot of, there's plenty of stuff I like about the game. You actually do have to be quite conscious of what you're doing. It's not as easy as just kind of spamming everything all the time, although that is kind of working a lot of the time as well sometimes. But these critters, they're really strong. In recon mode, it's not as bad. Distract him from doing that, whatever it is he's trying to do, and then beat him up. Yeah, they can really kind of mess you up. In recon mode, they're not as strong. The next stage up, patrol mode, fighting the end bosses can be pretty challenging. They're a lot stronger, so you do have to be conscious about trying to dodge abilities and managing your MP, because you can quickly find that just by spamming, if you're not landing your shots, you're running out of MP quite quickly. So that was one of the stages. There's plenty of other stages in stage-based gameplay. There is main events, so you can check these out. We're not high enough level yet, so these are upper end, so you got up to level 60 stuff. So we can't do these yet, but you can queue up for them, and they're available at certain times during the day. Now this is kind of puts into mind some of the other restrictions, particularly this fatigue system, which for me is just the weirdest thing. So if I'm reading it rightly, and I think I am, um, a lot of games have a stamina system, especially a lot of Asian games. They have a stamina system where you can do content and it costs stamina. You spend stamina to do main events and things like that. This is a reverse one. So instead of spending stamina, you build up fatigue. And you have character fatigue, which I believe is this purple one. So once my character's fatigue hits max, then I can't go into these stages as far as I'm aware. So it stops me from playing the game with this character. I would then have to switch to one of my other characters. Now, as far as I'm aware, my second character would still be in this region, so I would then just be having to play through the same content with a different character. It's just forcing me to level it up until the point I max out my account fatigue. So you get to the point where you can't use the character, then you get to a point where you can't use the account. And I'm just going to double check because I read it. I was like, that sounds crazy. But that appears to be one of the features of the game. So stamina is divided into character fatigue and account fatigue. If you fill up a character's character fatigue, then the character cannot enter normal sectors. Presumably you can still enter the events. If you fill up your account fatigue, then all characters on your account cannot enter normal sectors. So you just can't play the game. Now these are special ops areas, but I imagine there's still restriction on these because they're only available at certain times of day anyway. So the game, on purpose, puts in a system that you can't play it. Now, I don't know how the PvP works. Obviously, I can't do that until I'm level 20. I can only presume this is just a way to get people to spend cash to carry on playing the game, which, I mean, I imagine there's plenty of people do. For me, that is the reason that I would stop playing the game. I would play a different game. Who wants to play a game that they're having to then pay to keep progressing just in the normal content? It's not even like special content, and there's plenty of other stuff to buy to spend your currency on, these costumes and gear and stuff like that. So it's just an odd system that I think absolutely does not need to be in the game. But outside of that, it's okay. It's some decent gameplay to jump into and try out. It's fairly casual. The combat is very beat 'em up. I think with other players it would be good. It's got an I won't say it's an easy. It doesn't make things easy. So like with items, you hover over an item and you've got all this information. Now other MMORPGs and MMOs, they know that once you've just first started playing a game, don't inundate players with so much information. Okay, you take the likes of World of Warcraft and you look at some end game gear, and the text box for the gear, the stats and all the different abilities it does, and every buff and bonus that it does, it's a big list. You take a piece of starting equipment in World of Warcraft, and it's a small little window. It's like, because players don't need to know everything else that it does, and I think closers have done a bit of a bad job with that. You like hover over some of these items and it's like, sub weapon can equip up to 3, module sub weapon can equip up to 3, B skill cooldown reduction 1.5, PSI crit damage bot, and half of this makes absolutely no sense. So it's like, if it makes no sense, that's because I've not been guided to what it does yet, and if I've not been guided to what it does yet, why are you giving it to me? So just little things like that. I think it's I don't know, maybe a lot of presumption. I mean, a lot of these games do kind of fall off the back of other games, so there's an expectation that you've played many of these kinds of games and are already familiar with these types of systems. But for a lot of people coming to it, I don't think that's necessarily the case. There's plenty of other. I mean, it's quite feature packed. You've got different pets. And I think you need to buy like nutrient something to level these things up, and then they give you buffs and extra stuff and abilities and stuff in combat. So it's pretty cool. You've got I don't know. Crisis is the special ops areas. So I mean, the premise of this game is that you are a closer, and as part of this kind of near future um, Gangnam style city environment, enemies open portals and they spill into the streets, and there's specific units and soldiers that take them out. We're closers, so we're good at closing these rifts and stuff like that. So I mean, it's kind of like an ongoing theme for a lot of Japanese anime, the likes of One Punch Man. You know, that's that kind of thing. You know, the monsters are appearing in cities are a day-to-day occurrence, but things seem to be getting a little bit more intense lately. So there you go. That's the general premise of it. You've got the crew system. I'm presuming this is either. I don't think it's your friends list. Oh, it might be. Yeah, so you got friends, so crew, I guess, is recruiting extra NPCs or something. Don't know, not unlocked it. PNA manipulation experiment mission must be cleared first, so not got that. So at level 14, and there's still plenty of stuff for us to be experimenting with, you know, stuff to unlock. But as I said, this is a first look of our character and first look of the game and what is available. So there you go. Bit of a short and sweet one. I'm imagining that the next. I don't need to speak to you. Who do I need to speak to? Talk to Miss Kim. So Miss Kim's over here. So I can just jump past it, hit X to complete the conversation. Yep. Mission complete. Yep, mission complete. Get some stuff. Yep, cool. Use of achievements. Okay, so we can equip these, I guess. When accomplished, give achievement points, titles, various item rewards. Okay, cool. So yeah, so you get achievements, and you can use the points to get stuff. Okay, solo, single, time square atrium. Okay, so the next mission is just trying to send me back into the place where we've just been, but at a more difficult setting. So I'm going to spare you and not show you the exact same content again. But it is currently in alpha. You can't get access to it. You can sign up to the alpha, because obviously it's going to do a couple of alpha weekends, then there will be beta perhaps, and then it will be free to play. So if you like these kind of beat up games, then it's definitely worth checking out. I think the graphics are decent enough. The combo building and stuff is better than a lot of these types of beat 'em ups. So all in all, not a bad little MMO. Worth checking out. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, found it informative. If you did, please give us a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see when we release more of these videos. All sorts of alpha, beta, early access content. Checking out old games and new games. Or you can check us out on Facebook and Twitter at f2p.com, or over on our official website at www.f2p.com, where we have all sorts of news, reviews, games, and videos and giveaways. So thank you guys for watching. I have been Goodfellow, you have been you, this has been Closers, and hopefully we shall see you in the next video. Bye bye!